question is, what is your experience as a leader of the Islamic faith at St. Edward's?
Oh, what is my experience? Oh my God. Well, when I started here my sophomore year, and I'm a senior right now, so that was about 2 years ago. And the only reason why I am the leader is just because no one stood up. I wanted other people to stood up, but no one did, and so it was kind of an obligation for me to stand up, since number one, I speak good English. I don't have an accent, so people can understand me. And number two, people know me. And so to be a speaker, you have to be knowledgeable, but more important is making a connection between Islam and their daily lives. So though they probably know more about Islam than I do, but I just am a better speaker, you could say, speak the language of the people. And we have to speak in English because we're in America. You can't be speaking in Arabic. If a random person walks in who doesn't speak Arabic, well, understand. And my experience with it would be really, I don't know, it's really interesting because we're in the middle of a private Catholic university. I don't know. We have a lot of surprises every Friday. We've had one Friday where there's more non-Muslims than Muslims come in. But it's been an interesting, I guess, experience ever since I started.
That leads me into my next question. How do you feel that your faith is perceived by members of the St. Edward's community?
No matter where in America, there's always going to be a problem of people understanding our religion. So this school is pretty open and interfaith. It's pretty awesome with that. I used to be a peer minister of interfaith and ecumenical when I worked with campus ministry as a Muslim student. And they were the ones who helped us with this prayer space. President Martin himself accepted this room every Friday at 2 p.m. just for us. And it was with the help of campus ministry. James Puglisi, Father Peter, those guys were really nice and helped us out a lot. What sucks is that we have a lot of professors here on campus. We have a lot of students who are misinformed about Islam. The thing about professors is that when they're standing in front of a class, students listen to them 100%. Whatever the professor says is true. Even though they're not Islamic scholars, they will make statements about Islam. That is far beyond the truth. And that really, what ends up happening is students get a confused, not even interpretation, a misinformation of Islam. And so what sucks is, one negative thing about here, and every campus, it's not especially for St. Edward's University, is that you have professors who teach about Islam who don't have the credentials to, and who don't have the evidence to. And I'll give you an example. In my American Dilemmas course, which has nothing to do with Islam, but religion was one of the topics. In the book, and it's called Social Problems, there was a part about women in Islam. And there was a verse in the Quran that said, in that book, men are better than women. There is a reference to it. I tried to look for that reference, I couldn't use that reference, but at least got the author of it. This author was not a Muslim scholar. That verse actually says, men stand up for women in the Quran. And so what sucks is you get students learning things about Islam that is completely wrong. And when you learn something for the first time, that sticks a lot better than adding something or correcting it. So the positive is we have an open community where we're able to come here, and a lot of people love to come and learn. A negative with me is sometimes professors say things they shouldn't say, and students perceive it as it to be true. So I would say those are the positives and negatives our community faces here.
What do you think is the biggest misconception people have?
Now, everyone has a different experience of them dealing with misconceptions. I have 5 sisters. I'm a feminist, so the ones that I see come out the most is feminism and Islam. I think people are really surprised to find out that Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the first recorded women's rights activist. This is the first man who ever stood up for women, politically, theologically, and marriage like we were talking about today. First man ever to be recorded in history. Obviously, we don't know. Maybe someone was and just wasn't recorded. But he was the first recorded historical women's rights activist. Yet, Islam doesn't get any praise for it, which we're not asking for praise. But we get a bunch of controversial debates and negativity towards women in Islam. Yet we're not. If you're going to do that, if you're going to find out the negatives of Islam, then you should at least appreciate it too for its positives. But that's not what happens. So to me, the biggest misconception is feminism in Islam.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely.